If it happens in many industries, why would the tech industry be exempt? We'll explore more coming up. Hey news friends, if you're interested in the latest tech news with a smart and relevant opinion, then you've come to the right place. Please consider subscribing. Today, we'll be talking about the rideshare industry and the pay gap. It was reported that Lyft is committed to equal pay. Last year, they found less than 1% in pay discrepancies, costing the company $100,000 in salary adjustments. On the other hand, Uber will settle a $10 million class action lawsuit accusing them of discriminating against females and minority employees. The lawsuit represented 420 female engineers, saying that Uber's compensation practices cost them promotions, benefits, and pay raises. Uber said, "This settlement involves claims dating back to July 2013 and, while we are continually improving as a company, we have proactively made a lot of changes since then." They went on to say, "In the past year alone, we have implemented a new salary and equity structure based on the market, overhauled our performance review process, published our first diversity and inclusion report, and created and delivered diversity and leadership training to thousands of employees globally." Now, why doesn't that surprise me? Obviously, this is still the after effects of Travis Kalanick's tumultuous reign. But I'll be an optimist and hope that the new pay process is part of the positive side of the mixed review that Uber got on the 180 days of change. Why does it matter if you're a man or a woman? I'm of the thinking that if you can do the job sufficiently, you should be paid for it. So you might ask, why is there even a pay gap to begin with? Interestingly, the pay gap really picked up steam during World War II. As the men went off to war, the women filled those jobs. In 1942, the National War Labor Board asked employers to make voluntary adjustments for women based on their quality of work. Many employers ignored that request and paid women lower. I think this is just based on our culture. That the man is the top dog in the house, and he controls everything. And the poor woman is owned by the man. A woman is a person, you know. She's not your pet dog. Back then, they even had job listings separated by sex with different, unequal pay scales. In 1963, women made just 59% of what men made. How unfair is that? Then on June 10, 1963, JFK signed the Equal Pay Act. Since then, working conditions have gotten better for women, but 50 years later, there's still a pay gap. One explanation is that older women over 55 are still working in jobs that are subject to attitudes of the past, and those jobs were factored into the equation. As of a 2010 study, women under 25 were making 93.8% of what men were making. That's a lot better, but why can't it just be 100%? I think there'll always be a slight pay gap until our culture changes. That will be the defining moment when the pay gap actually goes away. And how do we change our culture? We need to change the mindset and attitude of a certain type of male. I won't mention who, but they know who they are. Many of whom have leadership roles in big companies. It starts from the top down. If we can do that, then the pay gap will ultimately disappear. Of course, there are many other ways too. I think another good one would be salary transparency. If everyone knows what everyone's making, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. Long gone are the days that it's bad business to discuss your salary with coworkers. What would you suggest to close the pay gap? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, until next time, this is Nukem384 saying I'll see you when I see ya.